gracious good day to one and all once again. 'Tis I, Norton the First, by grace of God, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, back with you once again for episode 71 of Emperor Norton's Fantastic History Vlog. Today is June 15, 2020. Actually, it's June 16, 2020. We'll get these calendars figured out yet. And it is our 91st day under a shelter-in-place order here in San Francisco. Well, let's begin with our national days, as we always do. Today is National Fudge Day, so have some fudge. It's Bloomsday. We'll come back to that in a moment. No Orange Clothes Day. I think I'm good. And Fresh Veggies Day. Eat your veggies. Well, as we generally do, we're going to begin with our San Francisco history item from John Ralston's wonderful book, This Date in San Francisco. Because on June 16, 1975, the comic strip Farley was established. Phil Frank was born in 1943 in Pittsburgh. He entered Michigan State University, East Lansing, to study as a commercial artist, but like Rube Goldberg at the University of California, he got sidetracked. The student newspaper offered $5 a week for a daily cartoon, and Frank began his first regular feature, Frankly Speaking, a single-panel cartoon about student life. It was a hit, run by 350 college campus newspapers, and Frank got himself a job at Hallmark Cards right out of college. Working in Kansas City, Missouri, Frank learned enough about freelancing and syndication to strike out on his own, and by 1972 was living in the San Francisco Bay Area. Chicago Tribune editor Dick Haney ran his cartoons and suggested Frank draw a daily strip. Frank's wife Susan suggested he create a character roaming the country on foot rather by car, coming into contact with a mix of people, situations, etc. The first travels with Farley appeared in the Portland, Oregon Journal on June 16, 1975. Haney signed up more papers, and soon 50 nationwide were carrying Frank's strip. The San Francisco Chronicle began carrying Travels with Farley on November 3rd, 1975, printing a full-page retrospective, rather rare these days. The strip ran another 10 years until 1985, when Frank was living on a houseboat in Sausalito with his wife and 2 children. Frank, a local history buff, political activist, and member of the Ancient and Honorable Order of Eclampus Vitus, what say the brethren? Where was I? Was also drawing for the local weekly Marinscope under the pen name Fritz Crackers. He would eventually, after contracting with the Chronicle, took the radical step of taking Travels with Farley out of national circulation, moving Farley, the character, to San Francisco, and drawing a strip that would comment on local events with a 12-hour turnaround time. Most comic strips are running about 4 to 6 weeks turnaround time, so that then allowed him to comment on local news. On February 16, 1985, the character Farley broke the news to the editor of the Daily Demise, a newspaper on which he was the worst reporter, that he was moving to San Francisco. At the 18th, he began appearing exclusively in the Chronicle. The strip is now just Farley. He worked at the corner in the Chronicle offices of 5th and Mission, which he referred to as Mirth and Fission, living in a North Beach apartment with Bruce Raven, a right-wing bird. In San Francisco, he picked up a cast of quintessentially San Francisco characters, including Irene, a blonde singer meter maid, Farley's romantic interest, who had ticketed his Chrysler rebate as retribution for failing to make a commitment. Baba Rebop, an online guru who dispensed spiritual advice at a coveted shoeshine stand in the financial district. Beppo, a street person who thought up ways to rip off tourists. Orrin T. Cat, a feral cat in Golden Gate Park with a mafia-type resume. 4 California black bears who ran an animal-patronized restaurant, Fog City Dumpster, a play on the Fog City Diner. Velma Melmack, who drove annually from Manteca to Yosemite Valley to set up a sterile campsite with modern conveniences. He also satirized local figures like Willie Brown, his Williness, Dianne Feinstein, Art Agnos, Frank Jordan, etc. I was a featured character in his strip on a number of occasions. Alas, in 2007, the strip often reran. It was rumored that Frank had a medical condition. His scheduled appearance at a meeting of the San Francisco Museum and Historical Society was canceled. In September, the Chronicle announced that the strip was discontinued. Phil Frank died of a brain tumor in Bolinas 6 days later. Well, he left us a wonderful legacy of comic strips. Many of those are collected in books, so check it out and pay special attention to us. That, by the way, is one of 2 comic strips that we are a featured character in, the other one being The New Adventures of Queen Victoria by Pab Sugenis. Excuse me, Pab, if I mispronounced your name, but it's a great strip if you haven't seen it, and we are honored to be a regular character in that. Well, let's get on with the rest of our events today. On this date in 1858, Abraham Lincoln said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand," accepting Illinois' Republican Party's nomination for the Senate. Very, very true words today. 1884, the first roller coaster was used, and that was on Coney Island in New York, or at Coney Island in New York. 1893, R.W. Ruckheim invents Cracker Jack. Numerous jingles over the years, of course, but my favorite was the one from the 1960s and a great series of commercials with Jack Guilford. Remember that one? Well, you may now. What do you want when you gotta eat something and it's gotta be sweet and it's gotta be a lot and you gotta have it now? What do you want? Lip smacking, whip cracking, patty whacking, nickin' knackin', silver rackin', scandal rackin', cracker jackin', cracker jack. Candy coated popcorn, peanuts and a prize. That's what you get in Cracker Jack. Do. Anybody remember that one? It's still around. It's still got a prize, too. It was on this date in 1903 that Ford Motors was incorporated under Henry Ford. 1903, the Pepsi Cola Company forms. 1904, Bloomsday. That's the date of events in James Joyce's book Ulysses. That's why it's Bloomsday. 1909, Jim Thorpe makes his pro baseball pitching debut for the Rocky Mountain PCL, whatever that means, with a 4-2 win. This will cause him to forfeit his Olympic gold medals. That wouldn't happen today. He was a Native American, of course, and one of the greatest athletes ever. 1935, Congress accepts FDR's New Deal. 1944, George Stinney, a 14-year-old African-American boy, is wrongfully executed for the murder of 2 white girls, becoming the youngest person ever executed in 20th century America. Terrible thing. 1960, Alfred Hitchcock's film Psycho premieres on this date in New York City. 2015, TV personality and real estate mogul Donald Trump launches his campaign for the Republican nomination for U.S. president, riding an escalator down Trump Towers. 2017, Amazon announces it is buying Whole Foods for $13.7 billion. Let's get to our deaths today. Births rather. Oh boy. 1829, Geronimo, the Apache leader and resistance fighter. 1890, Stan Laurel of Laurel and Hardy, one of my absolute favorites. 1907, actor Jack Albertson. 1917, Washington Post publisher Katharine Graham. 1935, artist Jim Dine. 1955, actor Laurie Metcalf. 1971, rapper Tupac Shakur. Our deaths today. 1959, George Reeves, the actor known for Superman, of course, died on this date. 1977, rocket scientist Wernher von Braun. 1999, I love this one, just came across it this morning. Screaming Lord Sutch, whose real name was David Edward. He was an English rocker and politician, founder of the official monster raving loony party. That may have inspired the Monty Python sketch, who knows, about the silly party. I'll have to do some more research on that. If maybe you do the research, let me know. And I should have looked up the name of, let's see, Tarquin, Linfin, Limbim, Ole, Biscuit Barrel. Find a clip. I can't remember it all, but maybe I'll put a picture of him up there. Well, that wraps it up for today. Until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy. Stay inside. You are allowed to go outside now, but if you do, wear a mask. Don't take unproven cures. One was just banned by the FDA yesterday that has been touted as a possible cure for COVID-19, and it isn't. It can be very dangerous to take. Don't drink bleach. Don't put it on your hands. Don't do any of that stuff. Rely on science. And most of all, be kind to one another, please. Until we see you again, a gracious good day.